Good afternoon, Blue Devil fans. I'm sure you recognize this face, 2004 graduate Tony Pike. Tony, how are we doing today?
Great. We're up here at Reading, getting ready to do some training down in the gym, so it's an exciting time.
Great. Let's talk about your new company, Beacon Elite Sports Training. You're the general manager there. It has to be exciting for you to kind of transition from D1 and work with Dr. Krimchek and do some great things giving back to athletes.
Yeah, it's been exciting. Once I knew that my career was over on the football field, the next best thing for me was to be able to give back to kids that were trying to get, the same place and have the same dreams that I did. So starting at Beacon, we're Beacon Elite Sports Training now. We offer classes anywhere from 7 years old all the way up to high school seniors.
Fantastic.
We got those classes based out of different age groups, and we also do adult classes. So, whether you're a weekend warrior wanting to get back in shape, we do adult boot camps, and then, we really focus on the developmental, the varsity elite ages, to try to get kids to the next level, start them off, when they're young, and make sure they're running properly. As they grow, introduce them to the weights, what they need to be doing the correct way, work on speed, quickness, agility, and then, once you get to the elite level, you're preparing for the next step and where you want to be in your collegiate life.
And then associating Tim Krimchek's Beacon name with the program that you're running, and what a solid high school athletic base he has grown in Cincinnati, just adds so much more credence to what you're doing.
Right. The Beacon name in Cincinnati speaks for itself, and what we've been able to do is capitalize on that. Beacon already has their hands in with so many teams in the area.
Right.
So we can go and visit teams, much like we're doing at Reading today.
Okay.
Not only offer training in-house up at Beacon, but also transport out the teams and really work within a team atmosphere with a specific sport. It's not just football in general, but any sports-related environment we can take in.
Great. As a Blue Devil graduate, has to be fun coming back, working on campus. Tell the fans, Tony, what you're doing with the off-season training with Blue Devil football.
Yeah, well, what we've run into with most schools is that they have a weight room and a strength coach and different things like that. So they get the weight training, but what a lot of teams are lacking is this speed, quickness, agility, explosion part of their weight room and their training regimen. So we're coming into Reading once a week. We're working strictly speed, quickness, agility. We throw in a little weight room stuff. We're breaking them up into stations. We're getting them moving around, getting the heart rate up, and implementing drills that are going to help them not just right now, but as they go into the season and their particular sports.
Great. So far with the sessions that you've had with the 2015 Blue Devils, do you like what you see?
Absolutely. I think guys are coming out here competing. The numbers have been great, and what I told the guys, after the last session. It's important to do things like this, so to get your friends up here, get them involved, because you play more for just your team. You're playing for this city.
Sure.
Reading's always been special to me.
Right.
I have a lot of pride from where I came from. From where I've went, I always say Reading first.
Sure.
So I have the pride in that. So to be able to come back here and give back, we want to get these kids together. We want to get that Reading brand back to where it was.
Right. And
I think the coaches here and the athletic department here is doing that. And we're just happy to aid any way we can.
Reading football has always been very prideful. I'm 50, and I know, thinking back to the Reading Mites and Reading Giants, and it's always been very important to this community.
Absolutely. It's something that, I grew up going to Reading games. My dad played for Reading.
Sure.
I had a brother play for Reading. Hopefully my sister's going to be up here. So for me, it's always been in the family. It's something that, when I took the field on Friday nights down at Reading, I had a lot of pride in what I was doing, and I grew up with a group of guys that, we could have went to these different schools and
Sure.
played for some different schools, but it was special for us to stay together and continue to play together. And, I think it's important for these kids nowadays to understand you can go to a school like Reading and still, get your college scholarships and make your dreams come true. If you do it the right way and you put in the work.
No question. Before we move on to your some UC highlights that I wanted to talk while we're on camera, for anybody that's come across this video that want to get in touch with you to bring their youth team in, their high school team, how can they get in touch with Tony Pike at Beacon Elite Sports Training?
The best way would just email me directly, tpike.beaconortho.com.
Okay. How about one more time? Give that one more time so they don't have to rewind.
Yep, it's just directly at me is tpike@beaconortho.com.
Perfect.
And those emails will come directly to me. We have a group of great trainers up there. We do personal training, so I'm doing quarterback training one-on-one. We have 2 former UC football players up there that are our trainers.
Nice.
Our head trainer is a former semi-professional basketball player, and we also have a collegiate golfer So we kind of specialize in all sports, whether it's team or individual related.
You know, one of the things I wanted to expound on a little bit that you bring to it is the experience. You know, you can have somebody that's going to run a weight training program and do different things for off season, but they might not know what they're doing. You know, where you guys have that specialization where you bring in and you can really take it to another level.
Right. I think a lot of different facilities that you see nationally, you know, they're very knowledgeable in what they're doing, but what we've brought to Beacon is a staff that, you know, knows, you know, firsthand what, you know, training in college is like, what training for, you know, to play professionally is like.
Sure.
So for us, you know, it's the weight training, it's the strength training, but it's also, you know, utilizing the movements you're going to be using in that sport. And so for us, that was what was special. You know, for me, it might be the mental side of the quarterback position that, you know, we go and work for an hour on footwork, but after that, you know, I want to get to the mental side and teach a kid how to, you know, read a defense or understand blitz pickup, whereas, you know, you don't really see that in other places. So we're very specialized to the athlete and, you know, getting the most out of what they need.
Perfect. Well, let's wrap up with some UC Bearcat. As a huge Bearcat fan, and we talked before we went on camera about the Orange Bowl and the Sugar Bowl, but I have to ask you, what was your favorite game as a Bearcat?
For me, and I think, you know, I've been asked this before, it has to be the Pitt game my senior year.
At Heinz Field.
Yeah, and you know, the biggest part, it was just a microcosm of our season.
Right.
You know, so many ups and downs throughout the season, whether it be battling different injuries, you know, being down in games and coming back, and to kind of bring it.
The peaks and valleys of that game, Tony, were unbelievable.
Right, right. So to kind of put our season into one game shell, the Pittsburgh game was that, you know, a sloppy first half where we're down, things aren't going our way, but, you know, like the team had done, you know, throughout the time that I was there, we continued to fight. And the fact that, you know, it was for a Big East championship and for a berth in the Sugar Bowl, and, you know, you get up to the #3 team in the country, there was so much up there, and the support, you know, from, you know, that I always received from Cincinnati and Reading, you know, that made the trips and that made it, you know, that much more special to celebrate with people that I grew up with and, you know, that care about.
Well, listen, I appreciate you taking the time for us. Best of luck with Beacon Elite. Anything we can do to help promote that, we'll be glad to. And hopefully we'll get to touch base towards the end of the summer and get a recap on how the Blue Devils look before Coach McLaughlin's team's fired up.
Awesome. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks, Tony.